Hey guys, it is September 9th, 2025. This is Ira, and this is my vlog that I try to do every day. But sometimes I don't do it every day if I'm in the mountains. But I am here. Was that someone boiling a...
Yeah, it was scary.
That's horrible.
It is horrible. That's why I'm moving fast.
Someone was pouring boiling water on a stingray. Did they survive that or something?
I didn't want to watch it.
That's horrible. Anyway, we spent today trying to get an apartment because if you haven't been watching, we had one lined up and we got in town Monday and went to the apartment, straight to the apartment, and it had black mold in it. So there's no way we were staying. So we were able to terminate the lease and get a refund. Well, which I guess they're going to mail a check, which should take like 2 weeks or something like that. So we paid them immediately electronically, but we gotta wait for a check. Isn't that how things go? So we're lucky, I think, in the sense that we got out of it. There was a stipulation in the contract that we were good. It was a good thing we caught that because he had like a 3-day window in the very beginning there. And so we expected to get here and have a place and be in it, and and start doing life here, making our living, pursuing our other things, blogging and social media and music and running and stuff. But now we've essentially been kind of sent into a tailspin of sorts. I mean, not to make it sound worse than it is, but it's kind of like normally, for example, today we would have gotten up and either we would have, like in Kansas City here, we treat Monday and Tuesday as our days off because they're the worst dashing days, but we would have just taken this as a day to recharge, which we could have used after the driving and the stress, the driving and the crud of dealing with that apartment over the course of Sunday morning through Monday night. Or we would have just, we would have used today to recharge, or we would have used today to just work. But instead, we used today to go to the library first thing and type up an official, business formatted letter. So we had a duplicate hard copy request of our request to terminate and get the money back, and then we went and got wet signature from Jacob all the way down in Spring Hill, Kansas, where he lives with his mom, which is like an hour from here. It's like pretty much can't get any further away in the metro area. So we're on the northeast extreme edge, and they're on the southwest extreme edge. So we went down there, we got that, we came back up to the apartment that had the mold, gave them the letter and the keys. We left there. That alone all took a long time. And then we went to the apartment, an apartment that we would love to live in. And we figured, let's just go in and talk to people and see if we can work a deal instead of just looking at the the online facts and stuff. And so we went in and talked to a nice young lady, and it sounds like we don't strictly necessarily meet all the requirements, but they're gonna maybe try to work with us. And And we talked to them. We applied. We ended up afterward applying online. I applied, Nikki applied, Jacob applied, and there's a fee. I don't know if you're watching this, if you are aware, there's fees when you apply, and if memory serves, which it may not be serving very well here. I've lived in a lot of rental properties. I've always rented as an adult, and there is like an application fee, which I think has been the case for forever. But now there's like extra fees. Like there's an application fee, like it's either $50 or $75 a person that you don't get back, whether you're approved or not. So you could spend, what is it, 150 for 3 people, 150 to 225 to just try to get in. And you don't get it back if you don't get in, and you don't get it back if you do get in. And so then, but on top of that, there's other fees, which at the moment I'm drawing a blank on the names of these things, but I think I have. Application fee, administrative fee. I think that's what I was going to say. So some of the places, because we looked at a lot of apartment stays, some of the places have different names. So like an administrative fee is like, for example, on this one, $250. Now that could be refunded if you're not approved. So there's a security deposit if you're approved. So like in this particular instance, it's 150 plus 250, 400 plus 200, 600. 615 because of a utility setup fee if you move in. So that was that was all on that one. But the application, just applying itself, was $400, and that was low. That was the low end. A lot of them were like $1,000 just to apply. And they're like, well, you'll get all of it back except the application fees. You know, it's like, okay, but I don't like giving you $1,000 and then hoping that everything goes smoothly with you giving me back the bulk of it if I don't qualify. You know, I just couldn't believe it. It was over $1,000 on some of them. Like one of them called it like a decoration fee. Like they said it's for like if you mount things on the walls. But even though you're just applying, they want that up front. And so it's like, if you were approved, they're going to keep that money, even if you don't install anything on the wall. So they're nickel and dime you big time to just even apply. And so it's not like you can just go around, apply here, apply there, apply everywhere. So there's that. And then anyway, we applied to that. We went ahead and applied to that one place, the place that was most affordable. And to be honest, the funny thing too is that was probably the nicest one. It was in the best area, in the best town, the nicest town. Like, because Kansas City has all its suburbs. You know, it's like every other town, a myriad of nested suburbs around the actual, you know, city. I just call it Kansas City area. But nicest town. nicest area in that town. Nicest town in this quadrant, kind of, at least, probably. And then nicest building, nicest actual apartments, newest, probably nicest clientele too, you know. And so, because we've delivered to a lot of these places, door dashing around here before, and it's like we kind of had a sense of, you know, what was good area and not. And so that's the weird thing, you know. It's like, and then we went to a place that was, it was a newer apartment that seemed kind of nice. And the area is like, it's one of those deals where it's like it's nice and new, but it is like it's like right adjacent to some pretty bad places. Or close, you know. And we're like, well, let's check it out. And that one was like 1,000 plus to just apply. And
Didn't have any ground floor apartments anyways.
Didn't have any ground floor apartments anyway. Which Jacob really needs. So yeah, it's weird how that is. So anyway, we went looking after that at other apartments. We were just like, let's go look. It was like the business day had ended by then. Places were closed. We're like, let's go just physically look at apartments. Because like the one we came that had the black mold came to that we had signed the lease on. We had delivered there a lot. But you know, when you're doing that, you're not always looking with the same eye. And we had kind of gotten a sense, it's kind of a little run down, but maybe it's okay. But like, okay, when we got there, it's like dog crap in the grass all around the building. And they even had a little station with dog poop bags. You know, it's like, oh dear. You know, it's like the people. So you got tenants that don't pick up their dog crap. Then you got staff that can't be bothered to pick it up. And I'm not blaming them. They're probably overwhelmed or something. And then it's like, okay, you know, stuff happens. Literally, shit happens. But then it was like there's this dumpster, and there was just trash all over, piled. Like, it wasn't like the dumpster was full and people just started setting bags around the dumpster because there wasn't room. There was just loose trash all around the ground on the dumpster. So we're kind of like, oh dear. You know, the screens were all torn up on the windows. And little things like that were like, and Nikki pointed out, she's like, you know, if I had gone to that place and before we signed the lease and seen all that stuff, I don't think I would have signed up. And so we're like, let's go look. So we go looking at apartments, you know, pretty much all at ones that we had delivered to, say, and remembered being nice. And they were nice. They still looked nice for the most part. You know, like, okay, you know, these look decent. These all look pretty clean and kept up, you know, looking for. It's hard to always know too, because a big one is leaks on a roof. And you can't see that. You're not going to see that by driving by. At least that I don't know, unless it was something obvious, you know, like bad, totally messed up. But you'll get a sense of the area, what's around it. You know, does it seem safe around it? Does it seem nice around there? And so we liked all the ones we saw. And then we looked online. We went to the library. We're like, hey, after a while, we're like, let's go to the library and kind of see what we can learn as far as details about these places now that we've looked at them. And it's like, you know, one thing you look at is reviews, and it's like, okay, you know, one of them that was one of the nicer places, although they were all nice, it wasn't nicer amongst those, it was just kind of on par. And people are like, yeah, mold. My roof caved in. My ceiling, I should say, caved in. Somebody on the top floor. And the management wouldn't respond, wasn't responsive about their complaints on leaks. They had a lot of leaks into the apartment through the ceiling. And their ceiling caved in, and the management came in and put a tarp. It was a massive hole. They had pictures of it. Insulation everywhere. It was like spray insulation. That loose spray. Their place was covered. Their apartment was covered in insulation and drywall and water. And they just came and put a tarp. They never really fixed it. Well, I think they came in maybe and re-drywalled. They didn't deal with the leak. They didn't deal with the mold. So, here we go again. But that one, we're just at the stage of looking at reviews. So we're like, shh, crossed off, not an option. And it was so crazy because from the outside, it looked nice. It looked new. The neighborhood was nice. It looked great. But this was the reality. And one other person complained of mold on the reviews. We didn't keep digging into the reviews at that point because it's like, okay. Even one was been enough, especially with the photos. So like, okay, that place is a mess. And then, it turned out like that one was more affordable, of course, because they're gonna try to stick it to people that need that lower cost because they know they can't go anywhere else. Well, then you look at other places, places with good reviews or decent reviews, and it's just kind of same expensive, application process. High, the requirements are more stringent. Some of them have weird fees, like automatic, like electronic lock. Like it's mandatory. Like you have to pay every month for like having an electronic lock or something like kind of security deal. It's not an option. This is just part of it. So like you look at the rent, well, that's not the whole story. Or they'll have valet trash. You have to pay an extra amount every month because you put your trash outside your apartment door rather than taking it to the dumpster, and they then come collect the trash supposedly, and you pay for it. It's not an optional thing. And so so a lot of them now have that, and back in the day, that wasn't the deal. You just paid rent. And some of them are charging for parking. Not like if you have a special covered parking or garage, which those are things still that you pay extra for, but some of them are like, you have to pay an extra $40 a month or something like that just to have a car parked here, which is funny to me because it's like, okay, how many people are living there and not parking their car there? Because what else are you going to do? It's not like we're in Chicago or New York City or something. You don't have the elevated train or nonstop, buses or subways to get. You have to have a car here, and so they're just, hiding these little ways to make money and it's just expensive. It's so expensive now. Rent is unreal. It's crazy. I don't know, house prices. The housing market is down from what I've seen, and and I expected rents to therefore come down as well, but I think maybe they're going up almost somehow. I don't know, but that has been the experience so far. So we're, it's like almost 10. It's 10:22 now. This is what we've done today. We made no income. We didn't work on any of our blogging or Canvas stuff or social media or exercising. And the thing is, we probably need to get a second car, which we were going to do already, so we could both dash and double our income, which we've done over the past year with rental cars, which of course that's hard because you have the cost of the rental and the rental insurance, so you have to cover that, and so you can make a little more but it's hard to do that over the course of an entire like 2-week rental or something for every day, clearing that and more. So we're in situations like, man, we were going to just kind of dash and do our stuff and then shop, take our time, look for a good deal on a car, and then when we found one, get the second car, and then we'd start making double the money. But now it's kind of like we don't have a place, so we have to work and make money. We have to still try to find another car, so we can have the income look better on applications, which we'll see how that plays out. We haven't done that before because we didn't need it. Living in the car is cheap in many ways. So we haven't needed a second car consistently, so we didn't buy one. And so that's why we haven't done this before. But now we probably do need to get one, to help us get in an apartment, to boost our monthly income. And so we got to work, we got to make money, and it's a lower hourly rate here, so we got to work more than we would in good towns, good dashing towns. We got to spend more on gas because you got to drive farther here, and gas is more expensive here than these good towns. We've got to I'm already lost. We've got to find the other car. That's a big deal because we've purchased a number of cars together, and we've gotten burned. We've got burned real bad on one. It's like the type of deal you take it home and it's like, oh my gosh, it doesn't work anymore, kind of thing. And it's like, sorry, as is. So like, you've got, and these places some places don't even let you test drive it. They don't let you go have a mechanic look at it. So and the car we're in now, we're blessed. A place called Executive Auto in Lee Summit, Missouri, worked with us and kind of hand-picked it for us. I think he was almost doing it as a pro bono thing. I mean, I'm sure he made money too, but the guy was like an exotic auto, like he sold, I think, Ferraris and stuff mostly. It was mostly like very specialized cars, but he said he liked to occasionally, when he came across something like this, like at the auto auctions, something that had basically really good bones, that was a really good deal, he liked to take it and get it kind of spruced up to help people get a good car at a good price. And he did. That guy is, I thank God for that guy. I pray he gets eternal rewards, because for the past however long we've had this, years, it's been a blessing. So, but there's a lot of shysters and you've got to be careful. You've got to take your time and learn and figure out and really look at what you're doing. So we can't just jump into another car suddenly, even though we could really use it now. And we don't want to take on a car payment. And taking on a car payment is no guarantee that you won't get screwed either. You know, yeah, you could go to a dealer and the newer you get, if it's a new car, there's warranties and things, but those aren't even perfect and stuff. And new cars aren't guaranteed to have no problems either. But yes, that would be safer. But then you're locked into a merciless monthly payment with interest that happens month after month, year after year, whether you're ready or not. You have zero flexibility, and they'll take it if you don't pay. So we don't believe that a car loan is wise. We believe that it definitely would be bad for our life, for anybody's life, to be honest. Unless, I mean, it's just not advisable for anybody, in my opinion. If you can pay you should pay for a car in full, because it's a liability. It just depreciates and it costs you money and repairs and gas and upkeep. It makes no sense to pay interest on So, and so we've got to work. We've got to make more money than normal because we've got to work longer than normal because the hourly rate's lower here. We got to pay more in gas. We got to find. We really need to find another car and put the time in for that. We've got to try to get in an apartment. Hopefully this one we apply that, we'll just say yeah. But if they say no, then we've got to decide: are we going to keep applying places? We got to figure out: do we want to keep paying application fees, and then we got to think about Jacob. He wants to move in with us. What are we going to do there if we can't get a place? So we've got, and then not to mention our other interests in these things that are important to us, like the blogging and whatnot, in exercise, fitness, and just regular day-to-day survival. We work hard. I mean, that's just what we do. We just work. And we do take time off to recoup. But when we're not like taking an intentional break from work, we just work. It's like we wake up, we go to where we can cook our breakfast. We do that. We get everything out and make the breakfast, load it up. We go, I'll just give Wyoming as an example. Then we would go to the library and we would work on our blogs. She would work on her Canvas stuff, which, call it what you will, but we're trying to, this is something that we believe that we're called to do, and it's not just a fun, it's work. And and hopefully it can make us money someday. We'll see. I don't know. Then we go and we DoorDash. And then, you throw a lunch in there, cooking lunch in there somewhere. And we DoorDash more. And then we go to a place in the dark, cold, and make a dinner. And then we drive to a place to sleep. And we go sleep. And then repeat. So it's like and throw in there, I was recording music video, like me playing or teaching music while we're driving around. That's why, because it's just we're just working. And I'm not trying to say, oh, poor us or something, but I'm just saying what's happening, and so now the regular survival and pursuit of our goals took every minute of every day. And now we've added in these extra problems. And we're really just kind of, we're not sure how this is going to look. We're not sure because there's just so many things are different now. Things are so different. We've got to figure out what we can even do. Can we devote enough time to looking for a car? Can we devote enough time to looking for an apartment and still working? And I don't know. I guess we will find out. And it's a bummer. It's a tailspin of a sorts that is unfortunate because this is not what the plan was, and we're not seeing a whole lot of hopeful opportunities on the horizon for the things that we're needing here. Of course, we could just say, you know what, this didn't work. Let's go back to Laramie and just do what we were doing there. That was working. But, we're trying to help Jacob. I think he really needs... I think we could really help him. Help him become more independent, and that's really what we want to do. And so that's what we're trying to do. And so that's just kind of where we're at now. I haven't been making any notes for these vlogs because I'm just we've been busy, and we're just gonna see what happens. It's kind of a bit chaotic at the moment, you know, a little bit, and we can only do what we can do. We can only do the next right thing. We just keep working at trying to get to our goals, and hopefully we're prioritizing the right amount of time and resources to the right things at the right times in the right order. And so if you're watching this, just pray for us and for Jacob, and that we can figure out the right path here. So, but anyway, I will wrap this up now. Thank you for watching, and we will see you tomorrow. All right, thank you.